The sun had barely risen when Catherine noticed something was wrong. David, or Chief Raymond as the world now knew him, hadn't stirred from his side of the bed. He lay there, eyes open but glassy, sweat dampening his chest despite the cool air conditioning. When she rushed to his side and touched him, he felt warm, not with fever, but with the heaviness of a man drowning in regret. She called the doctor immediately. After a few minutes of examination and a blood pressure reading that made her heart sink, the doctor sighed deeply. His BP is dangerously high. I'm prescribing immediate medication. But he needs rest. Emotional rest. Stress like this, it could be fatal. David's hands shook as he reached for Catherine. Please don't leave me, he whispered. Help me. I don't even know how to start. I've ruined everything. Catherine sat by his side, her face tight with emotion. You must hold on to life, David. You must. For them. Tears trickled down his cheeks. How do I look them in the eye? Obololiowa looks just like me. And Hannah, she looked so tired, but she was still smiling. Still serving. His voice broke. Later that afternoon, Catherine picked up her phone and dialed a number she never thought she'd need again. Auntie Barbara. When she arrived, Catherine offered tea but couldn't hold her emotions long. She poured everything out in one breath, the truth David confessed, the anniversary night, the children, Hannah. Auntie Barbara listened, eyes wide, fingers tightening around her purse. When Catherine finished, silence fell between them. The only sound was the slow ticking of the ornate wall clock. Then, Auntie Barbara sighed. This is not something we fix in one day, she said gently. Anna has suffered. A kind of suffering no woman should carry alone. Raising those children, 3 of them, with no man, no help, no peace. This news, it would tear her. Catherine's voice cracked, but I want to do the right thing. And you will, Barbara replied. But it must come through the right path. She paused and then continued slowly. I know Obololiwa got a job recently. He's working at a paint company. I know the place. That boy is trying so hard. I've seen him, quiet, respectful, serious. He's carrying a lot. Maybe too much for his young shoulders. Catherine leaned forward, hope flickering in her tired eyes. If David, Chief Raymond, wants to fix anything at all, Auntie Barbara continued, he should start from the beginning. And that beginning is his first son. Let him meet him, not as a rich man, but as a father who got lost. Catherine nodded through quiet tears. Please get me the address, she said. Barbara looked at her with deep empathy. I already have it. A few days after Chief Raymond began to regain his strength, Catherine sat beside him in their quiet living room, the late afternoon sun casting long golden rays across the polished tiles. She handed him a small slip of paper, an address, written in her neat, careful handwriting. I've done all I can, she said gently, her voice tinged with exhaustion and quiet hope. The rest, you have to face on your own. Chief Raymond took the paper as though it were sacred, his hands trembling slightly. He looked into her eyes and gave a faint nod, the kind that carried 1,000 unspoken words. Gratitude. Fear. Regret. Determination. Later that day, dressed in a crisp, understated outfit that still carried the weight of his dignity, he made his way to the address she had given him, a modest office building tucked into the busy heart of the city. When Obololiwa saw him walk into the compound, time seemed to pause. For a moment, the world around him, the buzzing of phones, the clatter of keyboards, the chatter of coworkers, all faded into silence. Chief, he gasped, stunned, his eyes wide with disbelief. Then, without thinking, he dropped everything, rushed to him, and fell to his knees, prostrating fully on the ground, right there in front of everyone. Thank you, sir, for the other day, he said, voice shaking. I would have reached out, but my phone got stolen. The business card you gave me was in it. Chief Raymond gently helped him up, placing a firm hand on his shoulder. Don't worry about all that. What matters is now, he said quietly. How did you know I'd find you here? Obololiwa hesitated, then smiled softly. Someone told me, but they didn't say who. Maybe it was just time. Chief gave a knowing smile but didn't press further. What time do you close? He asked. By 5:30, sir. Good, Chief said. Let's spend some time together. I'll be in my hotel room. Come by at 6. And just like that, he left, but not without a final glance over his shoulder, silently praying the boy would truly show up. By 6 p.m., Chief Raymond sat alone in the elegantly quiet hotel suite. The clock on the wall seemed louder than usual. Every tick felt like a second too long. His fingers drummed nervously against the side of the fruit wine glass. What if he changed his mind? What if? A knock on the door. He sprang to his feet and opened it. There stood Obololiwa, fresh from work, wearing a soft smile and tired eyes, the kind of tired that comes from carrying the weight of both survival and unanswered questions. You came, Chief whispered, emotion catching in his throat. I said I would, Obololiwa replied simply. Chief stepped aside and welcomed him in. Sit down. You're home now. He called for room service, jollof rice and grilled chicken, sizzling hot suya, a bowl of pepper soup, and the finest fruit wine available. As the waiter set the dishes down, Obololiwa's eyes welled up. No one had done something like this for him in a very long time. Especially not a man who might be more than he ever dared to hope. After the meal, the plates were cleared, and only the soft hum of the hotel air conditioning filled the room. Chief Raymond poured them each a final glass of fruit wine, but neither reached for it. They were both full, not just with food, but with unspoken words. Chief shifted in his seat, his voice low. So, what are you doing now, son? Work-wise, school. Obololiwa smiled faintly. I'm trying to save up, sir. I want to go back to school. That's the dream. My mom is also saving every kobo she can. Even my sisters, they've started putting money aside, just to help. Chief's throat tightened. Your mother, she must be a strong woman. The strongest I know, Obololiwa said, a flicker of pride in his eyes. There was a pause. Then Chief whispered, I heard your father is gone. Obololiwa's face grew solemn. Yes, sir. He died when I was 3. Do you remember anything about him? He shook his head gently. Not really. Just what my mom tells us. She always speaks well of him, said he was a kind man. A good father. God-fearing. A giver. Hardworking. She says if he were alive, we would have had a very different life. Chief looked away, staring blankly at the wall, as if trying to hold back something boiling underneath. He clenched his fist slowly, then spoke, his voice trembling. Obololiwa, if you happen to see your father again, one day, would you be happy? Obololiwa chuckled softly, confused. Sir, I would be the happiest man in the world. But he's gone. Far gone. There's no way to see him again. Silence. Then suddenly, a quiet sob broke from Chief Raymond's chest. He placed his hands on his knees, trembling, then looked up at the boy in front of him, the young man who shared his eyes, his mannerisms, his soul. Obololiwa, he whispered, voice cracking. Your father. I am your father. The words landed like thunder in the room. Obololiwa froze, staring at him. His lips parted, but no sound came out. His body didn't move. Not even to return the hug Chief Raymond gave him as he reached out and wept into his shoulder. I'm sorry, Chief cried. I'm so sorry. I didn't look back. I didn't check. I didn't even know what I left behind. Obololiwa sat stiffly, his mind racing. It was like watching his entire life being rewritten in real time. Chief continued, his voice soaked in remorse. That day, I almost ended my life. I was drowning in shame. I thought the only way out was to disappear. But somehow, God didn't let me. He kept me alive, and I didn't understand why, not until I saw you at that party. The words hung in the air like thick smoke. I am your father. Obololuwa's chest rose and fell rapidly. Then he stood up slowly, his chair scraping against the tiled floor as he backed away. No, no sir. Don't say that. Please don't. He shook his head, his voice breaking. My mom told me my father is dead. We held a funeral. She mourned him. She never lied to us. So you can't be him. Chief Raymond stood too, reaching out instinctively. Obololuwa. No. Obololuwa snapped, his voice cracking under the weight of disbelief. I don't know what game this is, but it's not fair. You don't just show up and say this. I can't. He turned toward the door, fumbling for the handle with trembling hands. But before he could leave, Chief Raymond rushed to him and held him tightly by the arm, not forcefully, but desperately. Please, please don't walk out. I swear to you, I am not lying. I'm not trying to hurt you. I just want you to hear me. Tears streamed down Chief's face again. His grip softened, but his voice didn't. Ask me anything. Ask about your mother. Ask me about the day we met. Ask me about her dimples when she smiles, about the way she used to hum when she cooked. I still remember the scar on her shoulder from that old boiling pot. Ask me anything. Obololuwa turned slowly, his eyes filled with tears but his jaw clenched in skepticism. What was her favorite phrase when she was mad? Chief didn't hesitate. I don't like nonsense, he said instantly, with a breathless laugh and tears running down his cheeks. She'd fold her arms, raise that left eyebrow, and say, I don't like nonsense. Just like that. Obololuwa's knees buckled. He sank to the floor and broke, sobbing loudly, clutching his head with both hands. His body rocked with the weight of emotions he could no longer contain. Chief Raymond knelt beside him, trying to hold him, whispering, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, over and over again like a broken prayer. I didn't know, Chief wept. I didn't look back. I was weak. I was ashamed. I was wrong. And I've lived every day since in pieces. They cried together, grief from two sides of the same story finally colliding. After a long silence, Chief gently placed his hand on Obololuwa's shoulder and said, You're the only one who can help me make this right. I can't face Hannah alone. Not after what I did. Not without you. The room was silent, save for the sound of soft sniffles and the quiet hum of the air conditioning. The wine glasses remained untouched now, forgotten, as the weight of truth had become the only thing being poured. Obololuwa slowly lifted his head, his face still wet with tears. He looked at the man beside him, no longer just Chief Raymond Abolede, but something far more fragile. Far more personal. Daddy, he said. The word slipped from his mouth like a whispered confession. Soft. Scared. But real. Chief's eyes widened. His lips parted, trembling as he soaked in the word he never thought he'd hear from this boy, his boy. Daddy, Obololuwa repeated, his voice cracking. Mommy, she'll be broken. She's carried this pain alone for years. She believed you were dead. She built a whole new strength on that loss. He paused, his hands shaking. I pray she survives this heartbreak. Chief pulled him into a tight, trembling hug. We'll go slow. As slow as you need. I know I caused a wound I can't undo overnight. Obololuwa nodded slightly against his shoulder. I just don't know how to say it. How to present it to her. You don't have to, not now, Chief whispered. Take your time. They stayed like that for a long while. Then, Chief Raymond gently pulled back, wiping his own tears. He cleared his throat, sat upright, and said with newfound determination, "Let me do something right for once. Let me be the father I was supposed to be." He looked at Obololuwa with both urgency and care. "If you had the chance, would you like to go to school abroad? Europe? Asia?" Obololuwa blinked. "Anywhere you think is fine. I just want to learn. I want to make something of myself." Chief gave a faint, teary smile. "Good boy." He reached for his phone, fingers moving quickly as he made several quiet but intense calls. Names. Institutions. Arrangements. Strings were being pulled. When he was done, he turned to Obololuwa and said, "Tomorrow, bring me some of your documents. Yours, and the twins. We'll work on admission for all of you." Obololuwa nodded slowly, trying to smile, but it came out crooked. Faint. A smile that wasn't joy yet, but maybe, just maybe, a beginning. When Obololuwa got home from the hotel, the house was quiet, the kind of calm that only existed when Hannah was humming in the kitchen and the twins were out fetching water. He stood by the doorway for a moment, unsure of how to start, then called softly, "Mommy." Hannah stepped out, wiping her hands with the edge of her wrapper. "My son. You're back. You didn't sleep at home last night. Hope you're okay." Obololuwa nodded and walked closer. "I saw Chief Abolede." Her eyes widened. "You did?" He nodded again. "Yes, Ma. He's the one I told you helped me that day. He promised to send me and the twins to university. Abroad." Hannah gasped, her hand flying to her chest. "Iwu. Oluwa oh." And before Obololuwa could say another word, she burst into a dance, hands raised to the ceiling, tears in her eyes, singing praise songs with a trembling voice. The kitchen towel fell to the floor as she twirled in joy. "God, you did not forget me. You did not forsake me." The twins came in at the sound of their mother's voice and, upon hearing the news, they too screamed and clung to Obololuwa, bouncing excitedly. The small sitting room, with its worn-out rug and cracked ceiling, was suddenly filled with laughter, grateful shouting, and the kind of joy that echoed through years of struggle. Hannah turned back to him, her face shining. "Obololuwa, this man. This angel. I must see him with my own eyes and thank him. I must hold his hands and bless him myself." Obololuwa gave her a faint smile. "You'll meet him, Mommy, very soon." But later that night, while the house rested, Obololuwa quietly slipped outside and sat alone on the back steps. He tilted his head toward the sky, blinking away tears. His chest ached with secrets he wasn't ready to voice. He often smiled at his mother during the day, tried to be present in the joy. But inside, he was struggling. Torn. Depressed. Confused. What kind of miracle came with this much heaviness? Weeks passed. Then one morning, Obololuwa walked through the door with 3 large brown envelopes. "Mommy," he called gently, handing her the papers. Hannah opened them, and her knees nearly gave way. "Oh. Sweden. Sweden. University of Gothenburg." He nodded. "Mine. And the twins. All confirmed." This time, Hannah didn't just dance, she screamed, sang, wept, and dropped to her knees. The twins shouted, dancing around her like children in a festival. For the first time in a long time, their small home carried the sound of victory. But once again, Hannah turned to him and said, "Obololuwa, I cannot continue like this. This man has changed our story. He must be honored. I want to meet him. I must." Obololuwa hesitated, then said softly, "He's not in the country at the moment. But don't worry. I'll arrange your meeting when he returns." He smiled again. But inside, his heart whispered, How do you arrange a reunion with a ghost from the past, when the truth could break her completely? That evening, Obololiwa sat with Chief Raymond Abolade in the quiet hotel room, his voice low. "It's time," he said, looking him in the eye. "She needs to know. But, whatever happens, Daddy, just stay calm. Let her process it." Chief Raymond nodded slowly, trembling. Back at home, Obololiwa pulled Hannah aside and told her softly, "Our helper, the man who's been doing everything for us, he's coming today. He wants to meet you." Hannah's face lit up. At last, she smiled. "I must thank him properly." When the knock came, Obololiwa opened the door. Chief Raymond Abolade stepped in, and before Hannah could fully see him, he dropped flat to the floor in tears. Obololiwa joined him, face buried, weeping beside his father. Hannah was confused, then touched. "No, sir, please, stand up. You've done more than enough. Thank you." She reached out, helping him to his feet. And then, she saw his face. Her body froze. She gasped. "David." Her voice cracked. "David, you're dead." "No. I wanted to be," he whispered. "But someone saved me. I couldn't come back. I didn't know how." Her scream echoed through the house. The twins rushed to hold her as she staggered. Obololiwa and David still knelt, both crying uncontrollably. "You didn't come back." Hannah choked, then turned and ran into the house. She returned holding a cutlass. David jumped up and fled through the door. "Mommy, please," Obololiwa cried, grabbing her. "Please forgive me, forgive him. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to break you." The house was filled with sobs. The truth had shattered them, but it had also begun the healing. The room was heavy. No laughter. No music. Just the quiet ticking of the wall clock and the weight of words that hung in the air. Hannah sat upright on the edge of her bed, eyes red, wrapper tightly tied across her chest. Obololiwa stood near the doorway, his hands hanging helplessly at his sides. "I don't want anything from that man," Hannah said, her voice steady but trembling. "You hear me? Nothing. Let him keep his money. Let him keep his connections. I will double my work. I'll sell everything in this house if I have to. But my children will not eat the food of betrayal." "Mommy," Obololiwa whispered, voice breaking. "We are due to travel in 3 weeks. Everything is ready." "Then cancel it," she snapped. "If you truly love me, cancel it." The word sliced through the room. She stood now, tears falling again. "He left us to die. To rot. To beg. And now he comes back with money, with power, trying to buy what he abandoned. If truly I am your mother, if I was there for you when he left, then you must cut ties with him. You must." The twins collapsed into each other's arms, sobbing. Obololiwa said nothing. His chest rose and fell quickly as guilt flooded his veins. The next day, Auntie Barbara arrived with Chief Raymond. They stood in the same sitting room where Joy had once danced only weeks before. Chief Raymond looked smaller now, tired, ashamed, broken. But Hannah didn't even look at him. She faced the wall and said gently, "Sister Barbara, I'm sorry. But I cannot. I will not accept his apology. And I will never allow my children to go near him again." Barbara left quietly, her heart aching with helplessness. Later that evening, Obololiwa brought the pastor from Hannah's local church, a kind old man who had prayed over that family during years of drought and hunger. But even he met a cold wall. "I respect you, sir," Hannah said softly. "But this matter is between me and God. I cannot let it go." By nightfall, the house was silent again. The joy was gone. The air was thick with unshed tears. Obololiwa watched his mother cry alone in her room, her Bible open but unread. The woman who once danced at every little victory now sat crumbled beneath the weight of betrayal. And the children. They didn't know which side to hold without breaking the other. A few days later, Obololuwa returned home with his head bowed and sorrow clinging to his every word. "Mommy, the chief, Daddy, he's in the hospital. He's sick." The twins froze where they stood, eyes widening. "Sick?" Gabriella whispered. "Hospital," Emanuela added, tears already pooling. But Hannah didn't flinch. She hissed softly, picked up her wrapper, and walked into her bedroom without saying a word. That night, silence cloaked the house like a heavy blanket. Even the generator next door seemed quieter than usual. At midnight, the door to Hannah's room creaked open. Emanuela and Gabriella knelt by her bedside, tears streaming down their cheeks. They gently held her feet, trembling as they spoke. "Mommy," Gabriella said, her voice breaking. "Please forgive him." "Mommy," Emanuela added, "we've never known what it feels like to be loved by a father. If he dies now, we may never feel it." Gabriella sobbed, "You always taught us to forgive. You always said real strength is in letting go. You said that's what Jesus would do." Emanuela looked up at her mother. "So if we don't forgive now, doesn't that mean all you've taught us isn't true?" Their words hung in the air, pure and piercing. Anna said nothing. Her lips quivered. Her hands gripped the bedsheet. And when her daughters left the room, closing the door softly behind them, Anna broke. She cried deep, raw sobs into her pillow, years of pain, betrayal, confusion pouring out like water from a cracked jar. By morning, her eyes were swollen. But her heart was lighter. She stepped into the sitting room as her children gathered, unsure of what the day would bring. "I've forgiven him," she said quietly. "Tell him, after he's discharged, he should come. I want to talk to him. One-on-one." The room brightened. The twins jumped and embraced her. Obololuwa's face lit up. And for the first time in days, Anna smiled. A few days later, Chief Raymond returned. This time, he came alone, no Auntie Barbara, no pastor, no children. Just him. Just the truth. Hannah sat on the couch, her hands folded tightly in her lap, face calm but unreadable. The house was quiet, sunlight soft through the curtains. "You came," she said simply. Chief nodded, his voice shaky. "You asked for it." She looked at him, directly. "Let's not pretend, David. I know you have another family now. Another woman. So you and I, we are done. I am not expecting you to come back as a husband. That chapter has closed." He said nothing. He couldn't. "I will be lonely," Hannah continued, her voice steady but low. "That's the truth. My children are going abroad. You won't be here. But I've made peace with it." Then, her tone changed, softer, but deeper. "But I need to know. That day you disappeared, what really happened?" Chief Raymond lowered his eyes. His throat tightened. Then slowly, painfully, he told her how he had wandered that day, full of shame and failure, how he stood at the edge of a bridge ready to end it all. How a stranger named Catherine pulled him back, gave him water, spoke life into him. How he lied, said he wasn't married, because he couldn't face the weight of what he left behind. "I didn't plan to stay gone," he whispered. But the lie grew too big to untangle. And the shame, it buried me. Both of them wept. Years of silence. Years of pretending. Anne finally spoke. "I've forgiven you. Truly. But hear me, your children are grown now. You don't need me to speak for you anymore. If you want a relationship with them, build it with your own hands." Chief nodded, still crying. "And one more thing," she said. "When they go to Sweden, I will go with them. I cannot stay here alone." I don't think my heart can take that kind of silence. Chief looked up in shock, then nodded quickly. Yes. I'll arrange it. Whatever it takes. She wiped her face and stood. Thank you. Now go. Don't come back here again. If you need to talk, speak to Obololuwa or Auntie Barbara. But don't knock on this door again. Chief stood slowly, chest heaving, tears dripping. He bowed slightly. And he left. A week had passed since Obololuwa and the twins stood at the airport, their eyes swollen with tears as they hugged Hannah for the last time. The farewell had been quiet but heavy, like the closing of a long chapter. Hannah smiled through her tears, clutching them tightly, kissing their foreheads one after the other as if memorizing the feel of them. It wasn't just a goodbye. It was the kind of parting only a mother understands, the kind that leaves a hollow in your chest no matter how proud you are. Chief Raymond Abolede was there too, standing at a distance. He watched them, his heart breaking in silence. He couldn't bring himself to step forward. Not after everything. Not with the look Hannah gave him the last time they spoke. He stood behind a pillar, eyes wet, hands trembling, watching the woman he had once abandoned be surrounded by the very children he once denied. And then, something unexpected happened. All three children, Obololuwa, and the twins, walked toward him. Without a word, they wrapped their arms around their father. And Chief Raymond broke. He held them tightly, tears falling freely down his face as he whispered, "Thank you. Thank you." Auntie Barbara stood nearby, watching the scene unfold with misty eyes. She had been the anchor through it all, the bridge, the peacemaker, the sister when Hannah needed one most. When the children were finally gone, and the house fell quiet, Auntie Barbara came to Hannah with a suggestion, gently placing her hand on Hannah's shoulder. "Come and stay with me," she said. "You don't need to be alone in that house, not now. Stay until your visa is ready." Hannah nodded, too tired to protest. And so she moved in. 2 months passed. 2 long, quiet months. Nights filled with silent prayers. Mornings of holding back tears. Days of learning how to live in a home without children's laughter echoing through the walls. Sometimes she would sit by the window and whisper their names, just to hear them aloud. Then one morning, Auntie Barbara came in with a brown envelope clutched in her hand and a glow on her face. "It's here," she whispered. Anna blinked, confused. "Your visa," Auntie Barbara said, smiling. Hannah reached for it slowly. Her fingers trembled as she opened the envelope. The tears came before she even saw the paper inside. She clutched it to her chest, letting out a soft, shaky breath. She was going to see her children again. She would hug them, cook for them, braid the twins' hair, laugh at Obololuwa's dry jokes, and just be their mother again. Not through a phone screen. Not through letters or calls. In person. Her heart, which had felt so distant for months, suddenly beat with hope again. "I'm going to see my children," she whispered. And for the first time in a long time, Hannah wept, not out of sorrow, but out of joy. At the departure gate, Hannah hugged Auntie Barbara tightly, holding onto her like a lifeline. She whispered softly, "Thank you for being here for me, you are truly an angel." Auntie Barbara smiled gently, though her own eyes brimmed with tears. She was holding a big brown envelope, and after their embrace, she pressed it into Hannah's hands. "Take," Auntie Barbara said, pointing discreetly to a figure standing a little distance away. "This is from Chief Raymond. Open it and check it." Hannah turned slowly, her eyes following Auntie Barbara's gesture. There he was, Chief Raymond, standing quietly behind a pillar, watching but keeping his distance, as always. Hannah's hands trembled as she tore open the envelope. Inside was a neat stack of documents and a handwritten list. She read each line with disbelief. A fully furnished duplex in Banana Island. A brand new G-Wagon Jeep. 500 million Nigerian Nairas deposited in her account. and more. Her breath caught in her throat. She looked up again toward Chief Raymond. He stood there, shoulders heavy, eyes locked on her from afar. A single tear rolled down her cheek. Hannah reached into her bag, pulled out a small piece of paper and a pen, and quickly scribbled 2 simple words. "Thank you." She handed the folded note to Auntie Barbara. "Please, give this to him." They hugged once more, this time longer, both women holding on as if they could stop time. The boarding announcement cut through the air. Hannah pulled her away, her eyes glistening, and started walking slowly toward the boarding gate. Auntie Barbara stood still, watching her as she moved further away, her heart both heavy and grateful. Then she walked over to Chief Raymond and quietly slipped the note into his hand. He opened it. 2 simple words stared back at him. And Chief Raymond broke. Tears poured from his eyes as he turned away, shoulders shaking silently. Anna never looked back. She just kept walking forward, her heart lighter than it had felt in years. Sometimes, the greatest goodbyes are filled with both closure and hope. And in that silence, hearts finally find peace. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe, like and comment to enjoy more deep and emotional videos. Crystalline values you.